Alright, so, this is my first time doing anything like this. I am going to be running through a bunch of different characters, and, I'm going to give comments on them, like strategies, tips, stuff like that, so you can get my take on it. I'm by no means a professional at Overwatch. I'm probably, like, a little bit above the median on competitive, but not so far over that I would consider myself any ability to claim like that I'm like really good. But I decided to do it, and I need something else to do, something to make it fun. So I'm gonna run through a bunch of different characters, give my thoughts and opinions on them, counters, what I think are effective counters, what I do not think. There's obviously there's other people who do these types of videos too, who are a lot better at this than I am. And I recommend that you check those out too.
Traveling to Volskaya Industries. Prepare to attack.
Alright, I'll start off with Genji. I very rarely play as Genji. It's probably like one of my least picked, not because I dislike Genji in any way, it's just that he is sort of a like purely back harassing. I mean, he's probably the most versatile out of all the back harassers, because he can also attack in the front if need be. His shots have a perfect... Why is that happening?
Ready for combat operations.
Now, where were we?
G'day, cover.
My view is constantly going.
G'day.
Oh, that's not good.
Attack commences in 30 seconds.
Hiya.
Okay. Well, if there's one thing I recommend generally, when it comes to like settings, especially if you're playing on consoles, it is to increase the sensitivity of your aiming, because with the default sensitivity, you're going to be at a disadvantage, mainly for really fast characters like tracers, are really difficult to hit with the default settings. I did about halfway. I tried a little bit higher than that. It's too fast for me. Because you also don't want to be too fast. Not too sure why. So this is one thing that always bugs me, is when my team is playing more of like team deathmatch and not Overwatch. And to me it's sort of an issue because like our tank, for example, is going out chasing these guys, but like we should be pushing for the objective, and now we've lost a lot of time that the enemy didn't have to work for. Overwatch is like, you know, as you probably know, like a time where I'm actually gonna see if I can make this jump. No, not really. That's a cool gap at Volskaya, if you can get it. It's really good for like characters like Reaper, who can very easily make the gap because he just teleports over. But there's very few people who can do it. Like I was saying, Overwatch is a time-based game, so if you waste time chasing down an enemy who is distracting you from heading towards the objective, that's giving the opponent free time that they didn't train to earn. If you're on the offense, you always want to force your opponents into defending the objective, because if you're not, then you're just making it easier for them. Because it doesn't really matter how many you kill. All that matters is whether or not you catch the objective. This is a neat little platform. Some people like to build turrets on here, and then essentially have like a mobile turret. pretty good for infiltration, especially if your enemy is doing the thing that you shouldn't do and is getting too distracted by killing the opponent as opposed to defending the objective.
Burns. The objective is mine. Be quick about it. I am ready.
Oh, shit. So, if you're the furthest one to the left, you're the first one targeted, as you can see. But I didn't realize that the Soldier 76 did switch to. Because if you're the farthest left in your Genji, you can deflect the Deadeye right back at McCree, which is an absolutely hilarious way to, like, deflect his ultimate back at him. This is what makes Genji a pretty good counter for almost anyone. If someone who's actually good at Genji is playing him, because because he can reflect almost any kind of projectile, even with rockets, like Helix rockets or Pharah's rockets. He can deflect those as long as they're a direct hit. It's why the strategy for him would be to hit around him. So he's really good at forcing the enemy to adapt their play style to him, which is why the most effective Genjis you'll see are like the ones that are always on top of people, always making people have to change up what they're doing, kind of never giving you a break. I never understand people who don't just wait out the Genji deflect. I mean, it's not like we all haven't been guilty of that in the past, but it feels like one of those like super simple things that should just always be avoided. I also like to point out how Genji is more of a situational hero.
Thanks.
He's not going to be your good every single match using Genji. He's going to be better for that. He's going to be better for that. You need a backrasser right now. He's really good at wiping enemy teams entirely.
Battle continues.
His ultimate is one of the few that he can do a solo team wipe, because it doesn't rely on line of sight. It doesn't rely on enemies to be grouped close together. His Dragon Strike what's it called? Swift Strike has a decreased cooldown during that time. So you can effectively use him. You can effectively use him to wipe his team because all his wipe relies on his skills to use her. Alright, cool. Good first victory. Good for me. I'm not good with Genji, so I'm glad his match went without incident. Personally, I always vote for myself if I'm up there, with the exception if I had a really, really good opponent. Then I'll change my vote to them, but, I don't know. I always like giving myself, like, a thumbs up if I can.
Now arriving at Lijiang Tower. Prepare to attack.
Alright, next up is McCree. McCree, when I first got this game, he was a character I absolutely loved. I still like him as a character. I used to play him a lot more, but now not as much anymore. In the patch notes recently, they did mention how his nerf that they had done, while it needed to be done, they didn't...
Justice ain't gonna dispense itself.
Why it's like it needed to be done, it ended up making him a bit too weak. Because like before he was sort of like an anti-tank character, but conversely by being an anti-tank character, you end up being an anti-everything character. Mainly from his flashbang Fender Hammer combo, which did ludicrous amounts of damage initially. Then they scaled it down so that he can take down pretty much anything that isn't a tank, but it still relies on a lot more like timing and like skill than before. It was pretty much like you want to avoid McCree at all costs. They're going to buff him in the upcoming patch because right now he's kind of like not selected as much as you might select a Soldier 76 because at range he's not as effective. They essentially want to lessen his drop-off damage so that he's more of a viable pick. And that, because right now there's not a lot of reason to pick him when you get the same utility with like the 76. Oh, another thing to do if you haven't done already, if you notice in the top right of my screen, I have the like kill feed. That's not enabled by default on at least PlayStation 4. I recommend enabling that. If you ever see like the pros play, they almost always will have it on. If not only because it gives you a really good feel like what's going on like on the field right now. So like, you know, maybe you've got an ultimate and you were planning on pairing that with another character's ultimate, but you know, you see in the feed, oh, they just died, maybe I'll hold off on my ultimate. Or maybe you were like, oh man, time to team wipe, but you'll see that, oh, well, the team just got wiped, maybe I can hold off for a sec.
Let's start over at the beginning.
Yeah, and like, this is a good example of, one of like McCree's weaknesses, at least right now, is there's not a lot he can do outside of like really short range. The flashbang doesn't have a large range, and that's arguably his like most powerful maneuver. And then if you're not using that, then
Point is mine.
you don't really have anything to get out of any like situation. Like that's the thing. So Reaper and Soldier 76, I would say probably combined are the better picks.
It ain't my time.
Genji is with you.
Check in.
Push on.
Also, I hate when this happens when we lose. Oh, that was actually pretty good though.
Back in the saddle
When
again.
we'll lose our tank or our support, and it's because they'll swap to a character that we might not necessarily need now. Like, I get that swapping characters is like a big thing in this game, and it's like, you know, it's important to know to be able to swap characters, but part of it is you need to know, like, when is a good time to swap this character. Too frequently, people will swap characters just because they'll be like, oh, well, this isn't working, I need to swap my character out. But they don't think to ask, okay, is this the right time for me to swap my character? Can I still do what I gotta do with this character? If you're the team's support or the team's tank, you probably shouldn't switch out of that class, because people are counting on you to do that. Tanks people usually won't think are like necessary, but I think tanks are wholly necessary, mainly because you need one person that's sort of difficult to kill. They might not help. They might not help.
Someone call the Undertaker.
They might not help like as far as damage dealing goes, but when it comes down to it, and like your team is getting killed, they're gonna be one person that they're gonna have a little bit more trouble killing.
knocking them off.
I've got unfinished business.
I did not use that eye.
It ain't my time.
Disappointingly, I think I was a better Genji than I am a McCree. Sad for me, given that I had started out as a McCree.
Score 0-1.
Empty your mind. Focus on the task at hand.
Zarya, ready for duty.
Yeah, I was thinking about McCree.
5, 4, 3.
Actually, what I'll probably do is I'll
Round 2. Capture the objective.
is like run through and then I'll do like one video of attack characters, offense, defense, and all that sort of thing.
Double. The objective is yours.
Nice. Oh, another little tip for playing is before the objective unlocks, it's probably better to focus your efforts, and the only time really it is better to focus your efforts on just killing the enemy team than it is to like focus on capturing the objective, because if you can take out the enemy team before the objective unlocks, like if it's something like that, then you can secure the objective pretty easily.
This life's never uneventful.
They're taking the objective. Let's knock them back.
Hold on. I've got unfinished business. Dead eyes ready.
Please, don't move.
Perfect. Oh, god damn it. It was such a good setup for it, too.
Let's start over at the beginning.
The only one upside to McCree, and oddly he's the only character that really has this power, but like a cancel movement for him, it brings down his meter for it to it brings down his meter to only like 50%. Other heroes can't cancel over him once they start it, but he has the option for stepping back and not shooting.
Team kill.
Accelerate. Thanks.
Justice reigns from above. Heroes never die. For a price.
Pardon me.
Get in there.
Other than abundantly clear, McCree's die is not a really good ultimate for maps like this, where it's like lots of enclosed spaces. It's very easy to negate it. Pretty much without that opportunity open to me with the Blizzard, I probably would not have been able to get it off.
Defeat.
Really quick, just going to step out to open the loot box. One of the worst ones I've gotten, and I'm usually pretty good with them. Although I am digging that Zenyatta one.
Traveling to Hanamura.
Next up, be Farah.
Prepare your defenses.
Farah, oh,
I will
didn't pick her.
protect the innocent.
Farah is a
Peace be upon you. Peace be
spec
upon
character.
you.
Hello.
She's a pretty solid choice, and I think it's like in a really solid lineup. She can do a lot. She has a lot of maneuverability, but at the same time,
Attackers
it's like
incoming in 30 seconds.
she does
System
packs
check
a lot of
initiated.
damage.
Green across the board. I'm ready for action.
More of like an upfront damage dealer.
Greetings.
If you notice, I changed her reticle to a dot, and that's just because there's no drop off for her rockets. So I try to not trick myself into thinking that I'm going to like hit in the other area, because it's going to hit exactly where I sent it to via the dot. This rock is having trouble with me. He's trying so hard to hook me. Gotta give him credit. But yeah, I found that like on defense, playing offensive heroes, you sort of want to like kind of harass the enemy a little bit more because you don't have as many abilities to like hunker down and like defend the zone. So it's going to require a lot more maneuverability, a lot more like inventive use of your abilities. Some people are better at it than others. It's all situational.
And I will succumb to defeat.
Like that, where it's like instead of trying to, and it's like another important thing that I feel like a lot of people try to wait their ultimates to be like, oh, I'm gonna wait for like to play the game moment when they should just use them when they have them available. Well, not, I shouldn't say that. Not when they have them available, but when it's going to help the team. Like in that case, it's going to help prevent us from that being captured. So it's like it's not a waste of it. Even if I only killed one of them, I mean I could have done it a little bit better, but it would not have been like a waste because it still would have prevented the capture. I mean, the captures will happen. But at least we had them take a little bit longer than they would have had to otherwise.
Torbjorn, ready to burn.
Health restored.
Oof.
We have to stop them.
Back in action. Start your engines. Back online. My ultimate is ready.
When you have teammates that you can combo ultimates really well, it's good to let them know when your ultimate is ready. So that way they might plan their ultimate differently. They also might not. Not everyone is good at that. But for those that are, it's a godsend.
Defend the coast. Strike as one. I always get my friend.
I also love whenever, like, some voice lines will come on, like the, oh, I always get my prey, but, like, in actuality, I did a terrible job at taking down that McCree. If you ever seen the comic, it was the, one with the Widowmaker being, like, one shot, one kill, but she, like, shoots around the like, 5 times and only kills her until he throws the metal trap in her face. Also, if you don't have any targets, like you can't kill anybody, but Reinhardt has his shield up, Reinhardt shields his target. And Reinhardt's actually a good example of a character that Barret is a really good counter for. because she can fly right around his shields, and it takes like a little bit of effort in order to figure out how to angle his shields so that he doesn't die here.
My team needs me.
Like this, you want to contest the point as much as possible, and you're like right there. Even if you're not the best person to, all you have to do is touch it and like get back off of it. Yeah, it's not ideal, you might not be your strongest doing that, but if you don't, you will inevitably lose.
Sniper detected.
This is actually a less commonly used spot in Hanamura. It's like a nice little secret enclave. A lot of times you'll see people line up around there, and that'll happen frequently. Not as many people over here. It's not accessible to as many characters. You know, you have to have some sort of mobility skill, but it's not just like... Guarantees might even have trouble getting here, or Hanzos. Widowmakers, Pharaohs.
Justice!
30 seconds remaining.
But I guess Hanzo should get used to it. They should get to this spot first.
Victory.
Nice.
entering the temple of Anubis. Prepare to attack.
Reaper. Reaper, undoubtedly the edgiest character of the game. Really good flanker, really good for getting around. He can do some sneaky stuff. He can prevent. He's a good backline harasser. He's not as mobile as some of the other ones like Genji or Tracer, but he's got the advantage where he can move without being seen being moved. He can instantly teleport to places. So that gives him a lot of versatility and opens up for surprise attacks a lot. Ideally with him, you're almost always catching your opponents off guard. And then after that, you use that to like take them down. His Hellfire shotguns are very short range. The spread is really bad.
Try not to get yourselves killed out there.
You don't have to get like right up in their face, but like right like here is like where you want to be for like an effective shooting.
Hey.
I also do love how he throws away his guns. Even like if you shoot one shot and then reload, he throws away both of them.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Attack commencing. Capture objective A.
Move out.
I'm always interested to see like what kind of tactics people will go for around here, like whether or not they're going to come outside of the wall, because the wall itself is a really good choke point. Oh! I was just banking on the Hounds and not able to hit me.
That which doesn't kill you.
But I'll actually, because of his mobility, I'll have the opportunity to show like a really cool little flanking maneuver that this map has. So I mean, everyone knows like the smart thing is to go around. Let me see.
Heroes never die.
Yes, you can. So right up here, it actually puts you behind the entire enemy team. It's a not at all used path, so it's pretty damn sneaky. Almost no one's gonna see you coming.
From the shadows.
Enemy turret sighted.
Back up and hit the bullet core at a really good time.
Enemy turret here.
Look at you.
Yeah, Reaper I'm not particularly good at.
The grave cannot hold me. I'm patched up.
Let's fight like normal.
Enemy turret destroyed.
Dual visor activated.
Oh there. Step right up.
Taking the objective.
Rest in peace. Taking the point. Who's with me?
I'm unstoppable.
Objective A captured. Commence attack on objective B.
It leads you right into the enemy base, so
Taking the objective.
as you can see, it's a really critical flank.
Heroes never die.
Best combo of lines. What? I was sure it was going to be that last play. What? That's bullshit. Like, honestly, like, I usually thought it was just, like, whoever got the most kills is, like, that was who got the play of the game. But in that case, that was, like, a really pivotal play that I was like, oh, definitely play of the game. Ended up being, like, a fairly standard.
Prepare your defenses.
Alright. Next up would be Soldier 76. Soldier 76 is one character I'm actually, like, pretty good at. He is... but he's, like a fairly, like, good, like, all-around kid. Oh, Jesus. He's not going to be, he's like kind of no frills, but he's really helpful at the...
We're all soldiers now.
Like, he's good all around. You can rack up a lot of eliminations with him, mainly
Enough
because
waiting around.
he's more of like a small damage type hero. He's not going to be the person who's decimating any one particular person, but he's going to be doing, and your role as him essentially is going to be, let's do consistent damage to the enemy team. I'm going to be weakening, taking pot shots, take down low health enemies, because your ability, relatively high firepower. Some ability to flank, not a lot. Let's see if anyone's going through this entrance. Probably not, no one ever goes through this entrance. But with a team like the composition we have, we're gonna have to like stay on. Come out the other way. But see, that was like a waste for them. They shouldn't have chased after me, the three of them, like that, because now that bought my team like so much free time that they didn't have to work for.
Mission ain't over yet.
And like at most, they eliminated one person who was harassing them when they could have like really pushed to the advantage. Instead, what they did was they split up their team, and now they had a 3 versus 6 and a 3 versus 1. But they should have just let the Genji take care of me, and then gone by themselves. Yes, it's like teaming up to me is sure that I would be taken down, but I was not. I wasn't the objective.
Objective is under attack. Get on it.
Anyone need some healing?
No one would hide on my
Heroes never die.
I've got you in my sights.
I try to use this after Genji has used Deflect already, because if I use it before he used Deflect, all that's going to happen is he's going to deflect my perfectly aimed shots at him right back at me. So I don't even bother unless I know he's used Deflect.
My ultimate is ready.
The war goes on. Defend the point. Great thing. Objective is under attack. Get up.
But once again, it pulls them off the objective. That's like the problem when your team composition has like too many fighters. Is they're effective away from the objective. But if you have too many people who they're only effective away from it, then you run into the issue where you have no one who can actually hold it down. So it's like by pulling away from me, that might have given us a little bit more time to like get back there,
Defend the point.
get back on him, test. That I might not have had the ability to do otherwise.
I've got you in my sights.
30 seconds remaining.
Trace the hit.
Tactical visor activated. The war goes on.
Oh, that's one weakness that I wasn't able to display with the Tactical Visor Ultimate, is it only targets players. So if you have a turret that you're going to hit into, the turret can take you down, and you won't be able to do anything to the turret, even though you have an increased rate of fire, because you're but yeah, even though you have an increased rate of fire, the turret will be able to take you down because you can't target him because Tactical Visor will automatically target anything besides that.
Mission ain't over yet.
So before you pop that, always make sure that you don't have a turret that's going to stop you.
I see great things for you.
I'm not a young man anymore.
Dang. I do enjoy we're getting all like the classic. This guy always gets plays of the games, plays of the games.
Now arriving at Phoenix. Prepare to attack.
Last up is Tracer for the offense characters. Tracer is not my strong suit. I don't think I have ever intentionally picked Tracer before. She's just not at like what I'm good at playing. But we'll give it a go. So Tracer, same thing, backline harasser, like a lot of the other offense characters. Very, very fast. Even like her default run speed's fast. She's also very zippy. She with Zenyatta have like the lowest health in the game at 1 in 50. Her only advantage is she has this recall ability that brings her back to her current ammo levels, health, everything. Her guns run out very fast, very short range.
3, 2, 1. Round 1. Capture the objective.
But she can be very annoying when in the hands of a skilled player. It's where she gets like the name of like a mosquito from, because she's very frustrating to deal with. See, that's my problem with her, is like she's so fast that I can't even handle her speed sometimes. Her ultimate is very, very simple. It's just a sticky bomb, but it charges very fast, and it's like really good for when you just need somebody dead. Good for characters that might be giving your team a bit of struggle, but they're having trouble like killing them for whatever reason. Or tanks, or very tight grouping of enemies, because there's a very quick countdown, so they have a very short window of time to react to it and get out of the way.
They are taking.
She's able to blink forward in time, and this like rewind thing also heals her. I forget how many seconds it brings her back, but by ever how much it brings her back, it also resets her health to that time. Which they track, well, if you do a particularly good job at the end of the game, they track like how much healing you've done by that method. And like that's what you're good for, is like getting right up in an enemy's face, because you certainly can't beat them in a one-on-one fight. But what you can do is be annoying. They might be able to easy to kill health-wise, but you're very difficult to hit. Winston is actually a good counter for you, because his guns do not require any sort of aiming.
Best round 1.
So yeah. Anybody who's played before knows how annoying tracers can be generally. Especially Reinhardt's, they're very good against.
Ready for combat maneuvers.
And that's just because Reinhardt doesn't really have a way of stopping her. Like, the only way to really counter Tracer well is either your weapon does not rely on accuracy. So, like Winston's, he can just fire and then it's going to hit any targets that are near him. Or if you have, like McCree, a way of stopping them, like the flashbang. Or like in the case of, actually Junkrat hit a good example there where, since it's explosions, it's very difficult to, it's very difficult for her to avoid.
The objective is now active.
That's like the whole way you're supposed to play her, though, is like, sort of skirmishy. You're never getting in straight up fights with people. Just showing up, doing a couple quick hits, and getting out.
Up the volume.
It can also be a bit disorienting to play her, because you tend to zip around really quickly. Sometimes I'll forget where I'm aiming.
Be quick about it. Come on.
But yeah, that's how I like to play Tracer. It's sort of like zippy. You know, you sort of just like do a little damage and get out of there. You're not like, oh, I'm going to like. Forgot we don't have this target. Yeah, very skirmishy, sort of just like zip in, do a bit of damage, get out. I'm not going to be too concerned with taking down everyone, even if I don't kill someone. My whole thing is not to try to kill the person. It's to just get in, do a bit of damage, get out.
Ever get that feeling of deja vu?
Mock death at your own peril.
Yeah, there was health pack right there, wasn't there? Oh yeah, and also obviously with Tracer, with giving her health, you're never going to be able to use her really to hold down an objective. You know, you wouldn't want a team with too many Tracers, same thing you wouldn't want with too many Genjis. Solo kills is a good measure to figure out how effective a Tracer is being. The other I would say would be total damage done, because eliminations are going to get a lot just from how much damage you're overall doing. But the solo kills is going to be like, that's your backline harassing. That's going to be how good you're doing at taking down individual targets when they're like straight away. And then total damage done, that's going to be like you're kind of skirmishing, you're sort of picking off people and like forcing them to do stuff like that. Okay, so that's it for the offense heroes. What I'll do is I'll make the break in the video now, and then I'll make other ones other times. But that's me for right now. I know I had one viewer at one point. Thank you for watching the live stream. But obviously this will be up, so anybody who didn't watch it may watch it now. I'm no expert, but let me know what you think. This is just like my take on it. There's definitely a lot better people you can get it from it. But this is my perspective so far. I'll try to do like tips and tricks, and maybe like do other videos in the future too.